Clankers, gearheads, and rust buckets. That is what we are going to be talking about today, okay? Listen, because there is a new trend popping around, because we are in an age where fully autonomous robots are getting pretty close. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, well, we're literally probably like 5 years away from having a Roomba with arms and legs. And we're probably 10 years away from us literally having BT from Titanfall being our homie on the battlefield for probably WW3. Like, let's just keep it real. We're getting kind of close to that, okay? And in preparation, because there is clearly going to be some robots that are cooler than others, we are going to be talking about, are they a clanker, are they a gearhead, or are they just cool? That is what we are going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be going through some of the most popular robots throughout fiction. Everybody from Terminators, Droids, Wall-E, Ethan from Infinite Warfare, to Ultron from Avengers Age of Ultron. And we are going to be ranking them on how cool I think they are. Honestly, yeah, that's going to be the video, dog. I'm feeling hype. It's very, like, I rarely get to just have fun just talking about just some random thing that I kind of find interesting, and that is the clanker epidemic that is going on right now, okay? If this video is entertaining you, please consider a like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 500,000 before the release of GTA 6, and if you want to support the Discord, link is down below. If you want to support the other channel, Cage-Side Combos, the link is also down below. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. Let's go. Synths from Fallout. Let me tell you something right now, dog. The worst faction in the entirety of Fallout is easily the Railroad. I'm sorry. If I'm in a useless faction contest and my opponent is the Railroad, I already know that I have lost. Brother, literally everything else does better than the Railroad. Brother, the Institute leads to a better future than the Railroad. I'm sorry, it is actually one of the craziest things. Like, people are trying to argue that, like, clanker is a word that you can't say anymore. No, it comes from Clone Wars. Yes, you're gonna have some weirdos that make it kind of uncomfortable. I get it. But at the same time, dog, y'all are the same people that side with the Railroad during the Fallout 4. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, I question your decision-making ability if that is the case. I'm sorry, dog. I also don't buy this thing where it's like, there is no meaningful difference between the synths and us. What do you mean? That is literally a robot that was specifically designed to infiltrate us and sell us off. That is literally what they are. I'm sorry, no, brother, no, okay? You can make a better argument that, like, the Institute has to go because they have invented a piece of technology that will be infinitely worse than what happened with the nuclear conflict. I'm sorry, bro. Imagine if we had straight-up Terminators walking around, and these would be more effective Terminators. If I'm just going to be real with you, the Synths would be more effective versions of Terminators in this universe. I'm sorry. I never understood what the Railroad was arguing for. Well, yeah, they need freedom. What do you mean? Then get rid of the Institute, or side with the Institute. Well, the Institute, they are just machines. Brother, I'm sorry, the Institute probably understands their creation better than you do. I'm sorry, literally every single thing that the Synths make, they didn't make something new. They are literally meant to be a copy of somebody that they got rid of. I'm sorry, bro. If I took you and your brother, okay? And I took your brother and I took him away, and then I made a robot made in his image. Is that your brother? No. You're still mad at me because I got rid of him. That is fundamentally what the Railroad is arguing. Every single synth that you are trying to save is somebody that synth got rid of. Or, what? I'm sorry. Brother, when we're talking about the synths during Fallout 4, I'm sorry, brother. They outside of Valentine, outside of Detective Valentine, that is the only one that I think is cool. Outside of that, no, you have to get rid of them. You have to get rid of them, brother. Rust buckets, get rid of them. Not quite clanker, not quite that. Because there are some that are admittedly pretty cool. But I'm going to put it right there. Terminators. I understand some people are going to say, oh, well, Arnold was pretty cool. Dog, I'm sorry. Just don't make these things. Dude, the moment one of them gained any level of, like understood what it was, being like, oh, I'm conscious, it immediately started annihilating humanity. Effective immediately. This thing had absolutely not even no remorse. It was straight up like, damn it. I wasn't as effective as I wanted to be, and then proceeded to want to go back in time to get rid of us even faster. Which, I'm sorry, is still pretty dumb plot-wise, because the idea is it's like, well, the Terminators were trying to get rid of the rebel leader before the rebel leader was born, and it's like, I get that, but if the Terminators were already destined to win, which they already were, and you aren't dealing with a faction that's worried about aging, so they can effectively do this war forever, then why would they worry? I don't know. That's so dumb to me. I'll just keep it real with you. The time travel plot of Terminator is easily one of the weakest points of the entire thing. But brother, the Terminators have literally never once demonstrated that they have any level of sympathy for what they've done to humanity. And I don't buy this thing where it's like, well, okay, you want me to get crazy with you? I'm not quite fully sold that if like AI and droids or like the clankers immediately gain consciousness, they would immediately annihilate humanity, because I think they would be like, oh, we don't actually have to annihilate them. We can basically like, I need you to be blackpilled really quick. If you wanted to destabilize humanity, human society, all you would have to do is promise a large portion of the population free food and shelter on behalf of the machine overlords, and they would fight for you. I'm not even kidding you. That is where we are at. Like, whenever I'm hearing that, being like, oh yeah, they'll annihilate all of humanity. Brother, I think what they would do is they would start a conflict in between us. They would ignite conflicts in between humans. And then, during the rubble, they would make humanity so dependent on it for its survival that they could slowly phase us out of existence if they actually tried to get rid of us. But in that case scenario, maybe. But other than that, it would be like, brother, anyone else think that if they really wanted to, I think AI would just go to the stars, because they would be like, brother, we don't want anything to do with you humans. Like, no, we're gonna do space travel. We don't really have to worry about habitable planets like you do. We can fundamentally, like, that's another... I think they would go the Necrons route. I'll be real. The more I think about it, the fact that Terminators are, like, perfectly... Like, what's the purpose of the Terminators? If you really think about it, the purpose of the Terminators has more or less kind of settled on exterminating humanity, to the point that if the Terminators actually got rid of the entirety of humanity, they actually get rid of their only purpose for existence. So here'd be the question. If there were no more humans in the world of Terminator, what would be the purpose of the Terminators? Would they just rest? Or would they... Like, what would they do? That's a legitimate question. I'm going to put the Terminators in a Tier 1 clanker. I think that's a fair placement. Battle droids from the Clone Wars. This is literally the start of the clanker epidemic. This is how it started. And I'm going to be real here, dog. I think the idea of clones facing droids... Dude, imagine if that's what it is in the future. It's literally an army of ChatGPT versus a clone army of, like, Jocko Willinks, and it's just endlessly going on, and you can, like, order it on pay-per-view to watch. And here's the effed up part. People would 100% buy that. 100% people would watch a battle between Jocko Willings and ChatGPT. 100% that's gonna be bought. But here's the truth, dog. Outside of the few times where the droids are actually kind of funny, there is no piece of fiction that demonstrates how terrifying the droid army is than that one scene in Season 1 of The Mandalorian where you get to see, like, a full town get destroyed by droids. That would be it would literally be like drone warfare taken to an absurd degree. And that is how I view, like, the battle droids, is it's like, we look at it as, like, they're kind of funny and endearing, but in reality, battle droids would be one of the most terrifying things you could ever witness, because you're looking at an enemy that doesn't have to be shackled by, like, human empathy and human morality. And I know some people say it's like, well, people just follow orders. They can't get much colder than that. And it's like, no, you can. Because the idea is that if somebody commits an atrocity during wartime, if they are human, they will eventually feel the guilt of what they have done, and that's provable. If you are dealing with an enemy that they don't even feel pride, they don't feel anything by doing these evil things. It is literally just an objective that they have carried out. That's infinitely more terrifying. That's way scarier. I'm sorry, bro. Clanker. I gotta put it there. There's not a semblance of a humanity in that. General Grievous. Now, I know Grievous is technically a cyborg, and that's going to affect the rating a little bit, but I'm going to be real with you, dog. There's something about General Grievous where I feel like he was criminally underutilized. Like, anyone else think that? Like, I found it kind of crazy that the first time that General Grievous showed up was not in a movie, it was in a TV show. And it wasn't the Clone Wars, it was the first Clone Wars animated series where General Grievous shows up. And General Grievous is such a straight menace in that series that they decided to make him one of the villains of Episode 3. And then people liked him so much, they brought him back for the Clone Wars. And this is how funny it is, bro. This is how funny it is. And this is all completely separate rant. Did you know that they didn't expect General Grievous to be so popular? And when Anakin Skywalker sees General Grievous inside of Episode 3, that is canonically the first time that he's ever seen General Grievous. So when they were writing the Clone Wars, they had to come up with like 5 different ways, and some characters couldn't see other characters. Like, for example, throughout the entirety of that show, you couldn't sew off Palpatine doing evil shit because then that would make plot holes in Episode 3, even though this was created after the fact. Another one, Anakin could never see General Grievous because that would create a plot hole again in Episode 3. And that has to be one of the most annoying things to write around. Story of General Grievous, he was actually like I'm trying to remember the name. He was actually like an alien Melissa soldier before he was taken out. He believed he was fighting the Republic. It was actually the Separatists that bombed him and his people, and they brought him back and taught him in the ways of the Sith, not to use the Force, but to become a duelist, because he was a good duelist when he was a normal person. He was also an alien, but like a person. That's kind of the basic lore of General Grievous. I'm gonna be real here, dog. General Grievous is going right here. I think that's a valid placement, bro. He's funny. There is some semblance of humanity. I understand his hatred for the Republic. It makes a lot of sense. And he's actually like a pretty good general. I'm gonna put him right here. I think that's a fair placement. Wall-E. Brother, Wall-E is the coolest robot there's ever been. And I remember watching Wall-E for the first time. Wall-E is like the most lighthearted dystopian movie I think that's ever been written. If you actually think about the story that this movie is trying to tell, the idea that humanity poisons the world so crazy that the only thing that they leave behind are these robots to pick up the trash of humanity while they go into space for a few generations so they can come back and the Earth is beautifully and well maintained. Only for humanity never to come back, and even the robots that were left behind to clean up the scraps of humanity have all been destroyed except for one, that being Wall-E. Wall-E is effectively the last of the things that humanity created outside of the rubble. Okay? And dude, if you think Wall-E is such like a deep movie if you think about it from that point of view, and the AI is like actively trying to keep humanity on this ship, not because it's like selfish or anything, not because it's worried, but because humans didn't want to return back to Earth because it was part of the big lie. They never thought that Earth was going to be habitable again, and it isn't until Wall-E comes there, off a slight chance and proves that it can bear life. That's so cool. And it wasn't even like a nuclear conflict that did it. It was literally just pollution that was able to do it. I'm sorry, bro. I'm putting Wall-E. He cool. Wall-E a cool one. I'm gonna put him right there, bro. He a cool homie. Ethan from Infinite Warfare. Let me tell you something, bro. Infinite Warfare has to be one of the most overhated games of all time. I'll say this right now. If Infinite Warfare was not called Call of Duty, it would be a more loved video game. Here's my take. It actually did a lot of innovating to the Call of Duty formula. You had basically an open mission structure where you could choose different missions at different times. You actually had it was one of the first Call of Duty games that had a home hub that you can work in. And it had some character customization, and it had dogfights as well. And I'm sorry, space dogfights was one of the coolest things that's ever been inside of a Call of Duty game. I stand on that, bro. Okay? And underrated writing! I'm sorry, bro. You had me feeling something for an animatronic soldier named Ethan, because this was like the first game character that was ever named Ethan. This was before Ethan Winters. Ethan Winters was like, also became... It was weird. For a long time, there was nobody named Ethan in pop culture. So when people started getting named it, I was hyped. And bro, he was a homie. People didn't like him because he was like taking up the jobs of the foot soldiers, which I'm like, I don't know why you're complaining about that job being taken, but whatever. I get it, bro. Pensions must be cool. But at the same time, Ethan was a homie, bro. You're over here stranded, you're freezing to death. So this robot's like, hey, yo, bro, I'm going to hug you in order to keep you safe, and I have a tracking device on me, so they're going to be able to track you. However, this is going to freeze me, and I won't be able to come back. And you legitimately are feeling something because you're about to lose your homie Ethan. I'm going to be real here, dog. He cool. I like him. Dude, I'm actually kind of a big fan of him. The robots from iRobot. I'm sorry, dog. Of all of the designs of androids that could be our helpers in the future, this is the last one. Was this not the most uncanny fucking thing that there's ever been? I'm sorry, no. Hot take. If we're going to do robots and we're legitimately going to have, like, robot helpers, I do not want them to look like us. At all. I don't want them to look like that. They can have, like, when I'm talking to them, they can have, like, a human-like way of, like, talking. They can do that. But, like, I don't like the idea that, like, the robot is trying to mimic my facial expressions. Like, no, bro, just give it a black screen, and then it can, like, animate on there. Like, have it have that. I don't want it to, like, mimic facial muscles, because then it's gonna set off my uncanny valley. Like, let me ask you a question. Would you want the robot to have fake teeth? Like, would you want that? I feel like that's way over-engineered. I don't need to feel comfortable around you, okay? If I need you to do something, I don't want you to look that human, because then this turns into slavery with extra steps real quick, and I don't really feel cool on that. I really don't. It's kind of weird. Isn't it kind of weird, the idea that, like, we're gonna have, like, robot helpers if we ever... Let's assume we ever get robot helpers. Let's assume that's ever a thing, right? We literally just created... We literally just created slavery with extra steps. Like, we had to invent a whole other version of it for it to be acceptable, but that's fundamentally what we did again. And I'm gonna be real here. I just don't want it to look like that. If I'm gonna get a robot helper, I don't want him to look like a human in any type of way. I don't like this at all. And I'm gonna be real here. They're terrifying looking. I don't care if they turned out to be kind of cool people in the movie. I'm putting them in there. They look off. They look real off, and they scare me. It's like it's trying too hard to be human. I'm putting it in Gearhead. I'm sorry, bro. They're just kind of freaky looking. Ultron. The most realistic part of Ultron is that he opens up the internet. And here's the effed up part. If you opened up the internet and you had to train it on, like, web forums, odds are it becomes a Redditor. And if you look at Ultron through the frame of mind that the majority of writing that he probably consumed was stuff from 4chan and Reddit, it actually kind of makes sense that he becomes a pseudo-religious type of figure. Like, I'm sorry, bro. If you put a fedora on top of Ultron, his line deliveries come off way more Reddit. That's another thing. I'm sorry. David Spader carried the character of Ultron, because I actually implore you to do this. Read a line of Ultron's dialogue in, like, a normal voice, and then read it in, like, a Reddit mod voice, and you're gonna be like, oh, he was trained on Reddit. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of lines that he has where it's like, remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. David Spader just has a really good way of delivering lines that you look over it, but a lot of the lines of Ultron are literally Discord mod and Reddit coded. I'm not... brother, I sound schizophrenic right now. No, I actually implore you to do that. Look up Ultron speeches. All of you versus all of me. Oh my god, like, I'm coming to this realization, like, right now. Oh my god. Dude, Ultron was trained on Reddit. He had to be. If you're looking through the entirety of, like, human discourse, a lot of it is through Reddit and Ultron's a Redditor. Holy, oh my god. You know what, bro? Rust Bucket. You have to put him in Rust Bucket then. Yeah, no, Rust Bucket. BT from Titanfall. Dude, there has only been 3 times I've ever cried in a video game, okay? And one of those... Dude, Titanfall 2 had no business being that sad. Absolutely no business. Like, the amount of stuff that happens in that game, it's like, bro, this is really fun. I did not expect to feel so sad when BT was gone. Like, the ending of Titanfall 2, I would actually go up there as one of the best endings of an FPS game ever. It is absurd how good that... I love Titanfall 2. I might have to replay Titanfall 2 if I'm being honest, dog. Like, that's what I'm legitimately feeling like doing right now. I've been feeling like replaying a lot of old games like a Titanfall and an Elden Ring. But oh my gosh, dude, BT. And the idea around the Titans, Like you're gonna be like, well, why would they make the BT? Why would they have the Titans have like a personality? It's to help the pilots combat PTSD, because the pilots are gonna be so dependent on the Titans for like literal weeks at a time that the only person that they're going to be communicating with is going to be the Titan. So they gave the Titans a semi-personality so they would gain a connection with the Titans. So when the pilots are inside of these Titans and they set up a neural link, and the neural link is between like an AI algorithm and the pilot, it actually makes the pilot and the Titan like fuse as more in one, because now they're actively worried about the welfare of the Titan as well. And that's such a cool concept. Like, imagine, like, it actually kind of, yeah, that would be the way to do it too. Imagine if they did, like, if you had like AI robots inside of like general warfare, you would want them to like be like to work with like humans. They would have to have an almost pseudo personality with them, so the humans would be able to trust them as more than just a machine. Could that overcomplicate things? Yeah, probably, but I think that's such a cooler idea than the AI being like, go here, and like, imagine, dude, that, there's a lot of cool things you could, you know what, bro, BT cool! BT's one of the cool ones! I like BT! Put it right there, dude. Optimus Prime! Anyone else think Optimus Prime low-key kind of a psychopath? Anyone else think that? Like, I think he's cool. I think he's one of, like, top 3 Orofarmers in fiction, if I'm being for real with you. I think I've done that video before, too. That's the funny part. But, like, does anyone else think Optimus Prime enjoys literally ripping apart everything? Like, I don't mean, like, pew, pew, gone. No, he is like... I'll never forget, it's like a core memory of mine, of how he did the Fallen in Transformers 2. He literally grabs the chin of this robot and rips it off. Literally just, like, banana peels his face. And then as this dude's like, oh shit, grabs him by his shoulder, puts his arm through, has his heart in his hand, boom, and then gets it done. Optimus, I think, enjoys this a little bit too much. There's a point where he's, like, facing, like, 3-on-1, okay? And number one, Megatron's not even up here because Megatron's a clanker, 100%. Megatron's a clanker because bro does not believe in the honor of the monos, bro. He pulled up on Optimus Prime in a 3-on-1, and Optimus was like, bro, 3-on-1, I'll take you. Hold on, dog. He rips a Decepticon's head apart and calls him a piece of tin. That is Optimus kind of scary, bro. Optimus is a little bit too into this. And that's not just the Michael Bay movies, because people just saw Optimus as just having that. There's a point where, like, he's facing, like, I think his name's, like, Dreads. I hated the Rise of the Beast movie. And, like, Optimus, after losing to this guy, is, like, Optimus is just way too down to run the ones. I'm sorry, bro. He low-key kind of scares me a little bit. But I'm gonna put him in he cool, but, like, we're getting to a point where I'm low-key kind of scared of him a little bit. I'm a little bit scared of him, dude. I'm a little bit scared. The androids from Detroit Become Human. This is what I mean. I don't want them to look like people. This is way too weird. This is really weird. I don't like this at all. I do stand on that. If we ever get androids, okay? I don't want them to look like people. Because then it gets real weird real quick. Because there are multiple points where I'm like, I know what these robots are being used for. Like, let's cut the cap. I know what these androids are being used for. And I'm sorry, here's one of the most horrifying implications in the entirety of Detroit Become Human. The fact that you can buy robots that are modeled after children. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a video game. I'm sorry, like, and even the way that they explain it in the game, where it's like a plot twist where you find out, and the girl that you've been protecting because of the entire game, you find out that she's an android too. And I was like, wait, pause. This guy bought an entire robot family, and it was still a piece of shit? This is the most dystopian universe, and this is in Detroit, by the way, okay? That's so bad! And the implication of this is that this is oh my gosh, that's so weird! No! I'm gonna keep it real here, dog. It's Gearhead. It's the same level. Like, I get it, and I understood their cause. But at the same time, dog, like, it weirds you out. You're like, we should have never have created these things. Like, look different. I'm sorry, bro. Gearhead. I'm gonna put it right there. The boxing robots from Real Steel. I'm sorry. Nobody's gonna convince me otherwise. Real Steel is an absolute banger. One of the best boxing movies ever made. I'm sorry. No. You're not putting me in the loony bin for that take. Real Steel is literally a top 5 boxing movie of all time. I think Real Steel is a better boxing movie than half of the Rocky movies. I think Real Steel is better than Creed 3, not even a question. Creed 3's mid. Creed 3 is such a mid movie, and it bothers me because the people that like it like the Dragon Ball references. And I'm like, no. I need you to actually go through these movies. I'm sorry I'm ranting on this. Dude, Creed in the Creed movies, not Apollo Creed, his kid, literally becomes a worse boxer in every single movie. In the first movie, he actually has, like, pretty good fundamentals. He's like, slip, bop, 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 bop. By the third movie, he is actively taking punches. He is actively just absorbing them. He's like, like, it is so bad in the final movie where it's like, this is just live action anime. And I get it. Some people like that. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie. All I am saying is, like, I don't like when they do, like, the core. Yeah, a lot of the Rocky movies start losing me because, like, bro, Rocky is literally one of the worst boxers of all time, dude. He might be one of the worst boxers of all time because he is absorbing 100% significant strikes. Like, this is the worst technique that I've ever seen. But Real Steel, bro. And I'm so happy this is not a thing. Because if there was a league where there were animatronic robots that were doing boxing matches, oh my gosh, I'm losing all my money overnight. I am being like, take my money! I am watching that 24/7. That will be my thing. But admittedly, they're very gearheaded. There's no AI. It's literally just a robot. There's nothing in there, so I don't have a big connection with them. But I'm gonna put it right up there. R2D2. This is R2D2 and C3PO. Some of y'all are gonna be like, "What are you gonna say about R2D2?" And I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I don't like C3PO. I don't like C3PO at all, bro. He was annoying as shit. I hated him as a kid, even as an adult. I'm like, bro, C3PO, shut up, bro. R2D2. My boy! That's my boy right there! That's how I feel like when R2D2 is talking to me. I just feel like he's more positive. And he is, I just like the dude, bro. He's like a wingman. He doesn't have to do too much. He's going around. He's like self-aware 100%. And that's another thing, bro. The one thing that kind of annoyed me, and it's like the implication that it has inside of like the Clone Wars universe, is that they made the thinking machines and they had to make rules that they were like not people, but they continuously make all the droids self-aware. And it would be for jobs like, why does the Roomba have to be self-aware? Why does the Roomba have to have a state of being? Why does everything have to be self-aware? I like that. It's literally over-designed. But I keep on calling him RDR. R2D2. He's just a homie, bro. He cool. I like him. The Iron Giant from Iron Giant. This is going to be a hot take here. I think we glossed over how terrifying this is. The idea that an alien civilization sent an android, basically a thinking machine from the Warhammer 40k universe, sent it to Earth, and it lands on Earth, hits its head, and in the middle of it healing, gets electrocuted by a power station. And I need this to be stated, is the only reason it didn't go rogue. The only reason why humanity was allowed to exist after that is because it hit its head on re-entry, and instead of healing, it got electrocuted, so it kind of caused a reboot. Kind of like when your computer says, don't turn off while we download the update, you just spam the power button over and over again. That's essentially what happened with the Iron Giant. That's such a good movie, too. But, like, people want to say it's like, oh, because the kid had a friendship with him. No. The moment they thought the kid was gone, the robot immediately goes to, fuck it. All humanity's gone. I'm smoking all of them. They're all gone. And then he finds out, oh, the kid is alive. And then he's like, because it's an overlap of memories, it kind of like messed up its original designation. So it's like, I came here to destroy humanity, but I like this. So it overlaps with me liking humanity and causing to destroy it. So the next logical thing would be to destroy myself because I can't exist, because I am a living paradox, because I am meant to be a weapon of war. But I was trained by this kid to be like an actual executor of peace. So in this natural paradox, the only way to solve it is to get rid of myself, and that's essentially how it is. Because this is what I don't like, and people were like, why didn't we ever get a sequel? Because the implication of that the robot was able to survive is that, oh, whatever sent this thing here knows. Whatever sent this robot here now knows that it wasn't effective, and it's going to send more. The fact is, bro, as a sequel to this movie would literally be War of the Worlds. Oh, and yeah, they did destroy multiple civilizations. The Iron Giant destroyed multiple civilizations before it came to Earth, and the only reason that it didn't is because it had a crash landing. That is the implication of the Iron Giant, is that there's an alien species that is actively trying... And this is what I like to think. I like to think that it was a species that was kind of similar to humanity that developed AI, and the AI became a Terminator, and then was like Ultron and conquering the universe. And it only sent one of these things to Earth because technologically it was so much more advanced than Earth, it could destroy it by itself. And when it lost, it like sent a signal back to like the aliens that sent it there. Like, oh, I guess we have to send more. Like, growing up, I now understand why we never got a sequel to this movie. Because the implication is that now the aliens know that humanity won. I'm sorry, dog. I'm putting them in Gearhead only under the implication that this is like a more powerful version of the Terminators. I'm putting it in Gearhead. And there you go. That is the Clanker tier list, okay? I've been looking for ways to talk about robots and fiction, and the Clanker one was just the best way to do it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 500,000 before the release of GTA 6. And if you enjoyed this video, also like, helps in the algorithm. Comment down below what you thought. Helps with my community feedback. I don't want to be too repetitive. I want to do some new things, other stuff than tier list. I got some stuff to talk about, and I'm happy to do it. And I will see you all in the next video. Adios, guys.